He turns pretty bright red and takes the 40 out of his pocket and hands it back to me, saying, "It was a joke, bro. I was going to give it back to you." Which, sure, bro. Would you sue a friend for not showing up to your wedding? Let's read some of these stories of people who try to take advantage of their friendships. Let's grab a pen and paper and get started. Hi, it's Kat Starling, and I like to make doodle videos paired with internet conversation, so you can listen along, unwind, and maybe join me for some doodles while I react to some bad friendship stories. Aita for wanting to drop my friends after they turned me into a joke. Recently, my friends and I went to a restaurant for dinner, where I noticed there was a cute waiter that was serving us. I told my friends, not thinking much of it. Throughout the whole dinner, they proceeded to embarrass me about it, sometimes around the waiter, even asking to take selfies with him. At the end of the dinner, while waiting for a friend to use the restroom, I noticed a friend of mine talking to the waiter one-on-one. I panicked, worried they embarrassed me again, but worse. I left. The bill had already been paid for at that point, and waited outside for them. They all came out smiling and laughing, saying they told the waiter I thought he was cute, and they got his number. I felt beyond embarrassed. They put his number in my phone, and I said fudge it and sent a text. I wasn't expecting much to come out of this, so I was shocked to see him reply. We continued talking throughout the night, even after my friends and I parted ways. The next morning I was happy. The waiter and I were having a good conversation that same morning. Later at lunch, my friends confessed it wasn't the waiter that I was texting. It was my friend. My friend group was in on it, even made a group chat to laugh behind my back, leaking the messages and such. I was mortified. They told me in front of most of our friend group. As I went to dinner with only 4 of them, I angrily left, sending a message to our Discord server saying "F you guys," and went off on them. They thought I was upset for being catfished. And while I was somewhat upset, I was mainly upset for being turned into a joke and laughed at behind my back by people who I considered friends. 2 of them were my best friends. Some of them said I am overreacting, and some say I'm making a bigger problem than it needs to be. My family says I should drop them, but I don't know what to do. Some people say I'm right for being upset, and I'm not overreacting. Aita? These people are not real friends. They are bullies pretending to be OP's friends. They clearly get entertainment by picking on OP and making fun of them. These people do not care about OP's feelings, and they made it clear when they said that OP was overreacting. This is them dismissing and diminishing OP's feelings. Good friends are people who will build you up and not tear you down. Good friends would actually care about you and your feelings. And when good friends unintentionally upset you, they apologize for it. It's only a joke as long as everyone is laughing. And they're using OP for what they think is funny. The moment they noticed OP's discomfort, they should have stopped. It was a joke at OP's expense, and they did not care about their discomfort. This is just bullying disguised as a joke. OP should drop anyone who took part in this. These people just showed their true colors, and sometimes you need to get rid of bad friends to make room for better ones. And sometimes having one really good friend is way better than having a bunch of fake friends who only keep you around because you're the butt of their jokes. Honestly, life is just too short to have terrible friends. So let's take a look at those comments. NTA, these people are not your friends. Drop them like a bad habit and move on.
Drop it.
Friends do not make fun of you or go out of their way to make you feel uncomfortable. NTA, OP, distance yourself from these people. If it doesn't click with them how awful what they did is, find new friends. Reading this was heartbreaking. I want to give them the benefit of a doubt that they just did something really dumb, but I can't imagine good people pulling any of this. Take a step back from them. Take some time to yourself. Do you even want to have friendships with these people? Yeah, they're acting cruel. If it had been just what happened in the restaurant, teasing her about the waiter, telling him she thought he was cute, etc., I would have thought it was just innocent teenager teasing with no ill intentions. But catfishing her, and especially making a group chat where they laugh behind her back, that's not your friends. Exactly this. Friends support each other. They don't bring one person down for their own laughs. This is just mean. OP responded. Thank you all so much. I really needed the reassurance, as I've been called sensitive my whole life. The only thing really keeping me from dropping them is the fact that we are all late into our high school years, juniors and seniors. One of the friends in the group is in college. I see them all daily, and it would be awkward for us and the rest of the friend group to be all distant. I am dropping them ASAP. Some of the friends are trying to drop me, and I don't even give a fuck anymore. I'm not letting them ruin my life. When people label you sensitive as if it's a bad thing, all it means is that you have emotions. You show those emotions readily, and those emotions are inconvenient for for others. Don't ever let anyone convince you that being sensitive is a problem. It's not. I know I'm not OP, but I really needed to hear this. So thank you. Similarly, if anyone ever tells you you're too much, it's because they're not enough. Being a sensitive person with a wide range of feelings is a beautiful thing. We're gifted with feelings and understandings of so many things that others can't. It's a superpower, not a weakness. Sparkles. What? I'm not crying. It's just raining inside. Yeah, that's what it is. It's just raining inside. OP mentioned in the comments that a couple of friends stuck up for them, but this whole situation is just going to show you who your real friends are. NTA. And hang in there, OP, because life will get so much better after high school. You will have a wider selection of better people you can choose to be your friend. But what are your guys' thoughts? Was OP justifiably upset at what their friends did to them? Or was it really not that big of a deal? So let's take a look at another friendship gone bad. Aita for not forgiving my ex-best friend for stealing money out of my wallet and telling people he's a thief. OP is a 25-year-old male, and his friend, who he calls V, is also a 25-year-old male. I had a friend V, who I used to be close with. We started at the same company together 3 years ago. We used to hang out a lot after work and still run in the same social circles, although I now refuse to associate with him. One night, July 2019, V and I and some other friends went to an outdoor bar after pre-gaming some. I took out my wallet to give my ID to the waitress, but dropped it under the table. V picked up the wallet and handed it back to me. I immediately noticed that the $40 I had in there earlier that night was gone. I asked him, "Hey V, do you know what happened to the $40 in there?" V said he had no idea, saying something like, "Are you sure you had money in there?" I was like, yeah, I'm pretty fudging sure I had 40 in there. I checked before we left for the bar. You and I were the only people to touch my wallet, and now the 40 isn't in there. What happened to it?
You're a thief. A common thief.
Things were pretty awkward at the table immediately. He turns pretty bright red and takes the 40 out of his pocket and hands it back to me, saying, "It was a joke, bro. I was going to give it back to you." Which, sure, bro. Around 10 minutes later, he makes a lame excuse and Ubers out of there. I was not shy in telling all of our friends exactly what he did. While some of them understand why I refused to talk to him or be around him, others told me to let it go and he was just drunk. I say that's not a valid excuse, and I don't trust thieves, and I won't be around him. Some coworkers of ours were doing a happy hour last week, and we were doing some poop talking of different folks across the company. I brought up V in my story. Evidently, someone told V about it, because V texted me yesterday telling me that I am the a-hole here for spreading rumors and gossip, and why am I holding on to this grudge? To me, it's not a rumor if it's true, and I'm not going to hold my tongue for this guy. AITA? I might be because it's $40 and it's been a while, but this guy is still a thief. So it might not be the best idea to poop talk with your coworkers about other people from work because, as you found out, word travels. But that's just me. That being said, I have to ask, is this something you've been dwelling on, or was this a one-off conversation? Because it would be a problem if you kept bringing it up like everyone has heard this story before. At that point, you wouldn't be bringing it up to warn people, you'd be bringing it up to dunk on this guy. However, it doesn't sound like that's what's happening here. It sounds like a random gossip session with coworkers, and your story fit the conversation, which is why you brought it up. So I don't think you're trying to go out of your way to retell this story. Although I would suggest not dwelling on it more for your sake than anything else. Again, that's just me. I like to forgive, but never forget. I'd also like to know if V apologized or showed any remorse for what he did. It sounds like he was embarrassed that he got caught and called out in front of everyone. He gave this lame "it was a joke" excuse, but he never really took responsibility for his actions and how it was wrong. When V texted OP, he tries to diminish what he did by painting himself as the victim by claiming OP is spreading rumors and gossip. I agree with OP, it's not gossip or rumors if what's being said is true, but I'm interested to see what other people had to say on the matter. NTA, people should be warned. Normal people with good ethics do not steal, especially money out of a friend's wallet. He dug his own grave with this one. I also had a roommate who stole from me and then got mad when I told people. My reply, if you don't want me to tell everyone, don't steal my stuff. NTA, actions have consequences. It sucks because he may have changed, but that's not your problem. Honestly, if he hasn't changed, you're doing everyone else a favor. If he changed, he would have texted and offered an apology, not a half-butt, "why you mad, dude?" I love the part where someone tries to brush it off as he was drunk. Drinking doesn't make you do something that you wouldn't have already wanted to do if you weren't restrained by your brain. OP responded, right? It's like I've been drunk hundreds of times, and I've never once been like, hey, I think I'm gonna steal money out of my friend's wallet. Drinking doesn't turn good people into bad people. It can just bring the badness in people out. Info. Does he feel any remorse for his actions? OP responded. He gave me some half-butt excuse apology the next day about how he was drunk and how it was just a joke. I told him stealing money out of someone's wallet isn't a joke. It's theft, and he got offended. After that, we kind of stopped talking to each other. ESH, you have every right to not want to be his friend after all that. And if you told people at the time, that'd be fine. But you really didn't need to talk about him to everyone 1.5 years later. You got your money back, and you dropped him as a friend. It's different if someone actually asked about it. What's your aim? OP responded. I don't really have an aim. My coworkers and I were just poop talking some other coworkers, and the story just came up. Maybe I should have held my tongue, but it wasn't like the rest of my coworkers were singing anyone else's praises. So I feel like if you kept on bringing it up, even if he apologized and was remorseful, I think OP would be the butt. However, V seems to show no remorse and wants to downplay what he's done. But what do you guys think? Was OP too harsh on V? Or was OP justified in telling people about his experience? But let me know what your thoughts are. So let's take a look at this last story. Would I be the a-hole for suing my friend when she didn't come to my wedding? OP is a 25-year-old female and her husband is a 25-year-old male. I recently got married to my husband in Bali, Indonesia in January. It was a destination wedding, but my parents and his parents paid for their own plane tickets and hotel, but we paid for our friends' plane tickets and hotel stay. Each plane ticket was about $2,000 US, and hotel was maybe about $150 to $300 for the week. My friend Gemma brought along her newlywed husband, John, but paid for his plane ticket. The problem is that Gemma and John did not show up to my wedding. Gemma took free plane tickets to Bali and the hotel room, and when I asked why she didn't show up, she said that since they couldn't afford their own honeymoon, that this was a perfect opportunity and that John decided that he didn't feel like going. I was really hurt by this since Gemma and I have been friends for over 10 years. Would I be the a-hole if I took her to small claims court for the money I spent on the plane ticket and hotel? No, you wouldn't be the a-hole for wanting your money back. It seems like you gave this as a gift with the implication that she would show up to your wedding. I can't believe she thought it was okay to accept such a generous gift and not go to the wedding. There really is no excuse for not showing up. Say, maybe being sick? I don't feel like it is not good enough, especially because OP paid for her friend to be there. OP might want to message her and give her a chance to explain herself. Or incriminate herself, maybe?
Caught you red-handed!
It's really bizarre to not show up, but I'm wondering, what do the comments think? If you're done with this friendship, go ahead, sue her. Sounds like Gemma's already decided she's done with this friendship, honestly. She let OP pay her way to Bali, but didn't feel like actually attending the wedding. I don't know how you come back from that. Yeah, I really think it's up to you. I understand being upset and just getting your money back despite dealing with the hassle. Can't believe I'm going to say this, but NTA, someone offers to give you a free vacation on the condition that you attend one party during that time, I'd be jumping at the opportunity. To take a free vacation and then no call, no show to your friend's wedding is really crappy behavior on their part. They could have extended their stay if they wanted to treat the trip as their own honeymoon. I was thinking the same thing, came in judging off the title. Hard NTA. But best you can do is dump that friend. I don't think the hassle is worth it. The court will probably just see it as a gift. A judge might see it as a gift, but you might be able to argue it was more like a contract, like an engagement ring. If you are coming to my wedding, I will pay for your experience. She didn't fulfill the end of her bargain by coming to the wedding, but still took the airfare and hotel room. You're not the a-hole, your friend is the a-hole here, but I can't see you winning any sort of claim. Legally, you gifted her a plane ticket. There was no contract she had to come to your wedding. I really wish people would stop saying this. Contracts do not have to be formal to be enforced. A gift is something you give without expectation. So this wasn't a gift. Oral contracts are considered contracts, at least under United States law and many other countries. And if there were any texts and emails that say she was buying it with the expectation of her attending the wedding, a contract would have been formed once her friend accepted the tickets and hotel. She bought the tickets with the stipulation her friend was coming to the wedding. Her friend did not fulfill the end of her contract. Now, is she guaranteed to win? No, but she definitely has a case. OP did say in the comments that she RSVP'd as well. So honestly, I do think she has a case. Maybe going to court is not just about winning, but showing that she's not willing to take this crap without a fight. We're skipping right over the option of asking Gemma to consider paying you back for the tickets and hotel room, as her behavior was hardly in the spirit of your invitation. Best advice here, give her the chance to make it right. I'd still distance myself from this friend that didn't show up for me because her husband didn't feel like it. But I'm sure Gemma knows the intention of her ticket/hotel wasn't to fund her honeymoon. I understand if you want to give her the benefit of the doubt because there might be a possibility of a misunderstanding. But we have my favorite thing, an update. I messaged Gemma per multiple comments advising me to invoice her for the plane tickets and hotel room, but I did something a little bit better. I wanted to get proof so that if I had to go to court, it would be easier to win. I messaged her this: "Hey, sorry for being so distant. I just wanted to talk to you about Bali. I'm hurt that you didn't show up to the ceremony. I pulled a lot of strings to ensure that you could come, and then you didn't show up. Did you think I paid for your trip just so you could honeymoon with John?" She replied, "I've missed you a lot, and I know the trip was for your wedding, but John didn't want to go because he felt your wedding ruined the illusion of the trip being our honeymoon and that you would understand." Ugh, this lady sucks. And her husband too. Ugh. I replied, "No, I don't understand. You took advantage of me, and that's not what real friends do. So I am invoicing you $2,387.53 for the cost of the plane tickets and hotel room. I will give you 30 days. After that, I will be taking legal action." I received no response, but she's been posting subliminal quotes on Instagram that are along the lines of entitled friends and having snakes in her life. Thank you for all your verdicts and help. Yuck, that response was just crappy and crazy flimsy. You gave her a chance and she failed at giving a reasonable explanation. And the Instagram quotes, come on. She's trying to garner sympathy from people so she can paint the picture in her favor. But hey, at least she admitted knowing that the intention of the tickets and the hotel was for your wedding. So it's clear to me she sucks, and you should not feel guilty about taking her to court to get your money back. But don't click off just yet, because we have another update. I don't think this could have gotten worse, but here we are. I don't respond to any of her subliminal messages she's posted about me on social media. I've been very quiet while I've been getting my ducks in a row for the litigation. But this past Friday, she sent me a 3-page audit for financial and emotional contributions from 2015 to present. I wish I was effing joking. What the fudge is this lady smoking? I hate people like this. You dare to stand up to me so I come back at you harder? What the heck? Like, massive eye roll here.
What is wrong with this woman?
The audit. She itemized every dinner or lunch we've ever had together. She estimated $18 per meal. Gas money for driving to and from hangouts. A birthday gift from 2017 that she claimed she went into debt for. Time spent emotionally supporting me after my dad passed. She said she took the role of grief counselor for me, even though I talked to her on the phone about it once for 30 minutes. One time, she helped me move apartments. She wants to be paid for her labor and emotional distress caused by threatening litigation. Her grand total, $2,412.09, which is conveniently within $25 of what I invoiced her. She then told me that if I were really keeping score, that I actually owed her $24.65. I think I stared at that document for 10 minutes in silence, in shock from the audacity, because this witch is delusional. To clarify, I never asked her to cook for me. While I was in college, she did pay for lunches, but I definitely returned the favor big time once I graduated. I bought her many gifts over the years. I let her stay at my house several times when she and John argued, and I have lended a shoulder for her to cry on when she was going through difficult times in life. But apparently being a friend now is billable? I decided to give the message a thumbs down, because if I respond, I will be extremely disrespectful with the anger I am facing. I cannot wait for these 30 days to be over because I will be suing the fudge out of her. Delusional. Yup, that is the word of the day. I think she's just trying to get OP to back down and or to bait her into an argument. Stay strong, OP. Don't take the bait and don't respond. But we have a final update. Sorry that I haven't updated in a while. I've been trying to get my ducks in a row before I proceed with everything. While doing that, I was going through photos of Bali and ended up on an Instagram page of a local photographer who took pictures of me and my husband during a sailing excursion we went on. I also was scrolling through the page and looking at random groups when I saw a very familiar face. It was Gemma and a man. It wasn't John. It was a man I had never seen before. What? Oh my god, no. No, she did not. Yikes. There were multiple photos. One where they were just sitting down with drinks, one with Gemma and the guy wrapping his arms around her, and one with them kissing. That's when everything clicked. My wedding was the day after everyone landed, which is why I never saw her at all. Not at the hotel, not around town, nothing. I just assumed she was trying to lie low around town to avoid confrontation with me. She didn't skip the wedding because John didn't feel like going, or that my wedding ruined the illusion of the trip being their honeymoon. She skipped it because she wasn't there with John, but with another man. After seeing this photo of her and her affair partner, I decided to do my own detective work. I went to her Instagram page and tried to see if I could find the guy's Instagram page in her followings list or her followers. Nada. I tried to see if any of the guys remotely looked like him was in her likes or comments. Nope. I felt defeated until I remembered Gemma's small pottering Instagram account, and boom, I found him. Let's say his name is Ryan. Ryan has several photos that were taken in Bali on his page. He even had a photo of himself in the hotel room I paid for. I was beyond pissed. I just wanted to get my money back and just be done with Gemma altogether. On the day of our court date, I told my side and showed the judge the text messages and explained that I paid for the trip so she could attend my wedding and she didn't show up. Gemma claimed that the trip was a gift for her new marriage and not contingent on attending. I didn't even have to bring up the fact that she didn't bring John because the judge didn't buy Gemma's story. I was awarded the full amount back. Gemma walked out of that courtroom without even looking at me. I know she was pissed. And as expected, she went straight to Instagram, and this time she didn't hold back at all. She started posting about me on her story, calling me a witch, saying that's why I can't have kids, posting photos of me calling me fat, saying that she'll go spit on the grave of my dead grandmother. Ooh, we're just a little unhinged, aren't we? Just diabolical mean girl stuff. Last time she brought our drama to social media, I ignored it, but not this time. I know what I did next was stooping to her level, but I don't care. Ugh, let the demons out, OP.
It is time.
I posted the photo of her kissing Ryan on my stories and tagged her and John in it. I captioned it, "Sorry we missed you in Bali. Hope you had fun." Within minutes, she began spamming my phone. She was calling, texting, leaving voicemails, screaming at me. And before I blocked her on everything, I messaged her one last time. I said, "You should have just come to the wedding." Oh man, my drama demon is so satisfied right now. Would you say? That is some good drama. It is the best when karma really does her job. Yes. That was crazy, but such a good ending to that story. So OP, definitely not the a-hole, and she really should have just gone to the wedding. But what do you guys think? Did OP take it a step too far by posting that photo? I really enjoy reading and reacting to people's stories, especially with updates like that one. I also enjoy doodling because I find it calming and it's fun. I hope you found the doodles calming and the stories interesting. If you feel so inclined, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching till the end. I look forward to reading your thoughts, and see you in the next one. Bye!